Hi friends, this video is about transhumanism and the history of tainted nature. And so what I'm talking about is that all history to date is tainted nature history. And we're going to go back to a time in your mind, all right, so that when there were as many languages as there were people. Okay, so if we put a couple babies in a room and we just feed them and stuff and keep all society away from them, they'll have their own language. In a couple of years, they pretty soon they'll do all kinds of stuff. Well, these same babies, all right, is that we amplify them with technology, and that's what transhumanism is in my mind. I never even knew about the grunt until that it had a word map. That's how I think of language. It's a word map to an object or a concept. Okay, and so when I that it was that's basically what it is that when are we going to amplify humanity with technology? And what is technology? Well, technology is anything we have the critters don't have. Okay, and so technology is language because we have recorded language. All right, if you look at the history of tainted nature, okay, that is the Middle East does not exist. The earth is round. We have been word slaved onto a flat earth by language. And so without language, if we were all still living in the trees, none of the concepts would exist. All right, you cannot. When I say I map words to concepts, these are the literacy objects. I'll tell you what they are right now, real fast. If you've never seen one of my videos, it's that this is energy and matter. Put them together. That's a literacy object. Okay. Well, concepts have no energy or matter. We're talking physics here, strict physics. So concepts don't have energy or matter. Like America, 2016, atheist, Christian, Muslim, all these special grunts. Well, now, see, these concepts would never exist without technology. Okay? And so, that is what's happening to us as a species is that because of our technology that transcends generation, no species ever had external memory that transcended generation. That's the only reason that we know about the Middle East. All right, and as trusting children, we are word slaved by Middle East people, base people, all around this planet right now. All around the world, every child right now is being word slaved by people who think from the Middle East. And the earth is round. And there is no Middle East. So what I'm saying again, and we are halfway here, is that in computer programming, we already it already transcends human language. We use it based on physics, and it's liquid. The key word here is that it's liquid. That these grunts that are installed in our head, so you have to think from 2016 or blow up. You have to. Oh, I'm sorry, Jenny. Sorry, Jenny. See, that's the beauty right there. Is that what I went out here and did in nature? Is that I went out here to gain this back. All right, to get this perspective back. And applied computer science on our language. So you got to think of, no matter what language that you think in, you might know a couple languages or something, that the language is now liquid. It means absolutely nothing. Always revert back to the time when there was no language that slaved you. That there were as many languages as there were humans. And so that's like, here's let me tell you the early stages of that. How language began was that when we were trapped out on the plains, and after the Great Rift in Africa, okay, and then and we were under attack by the critters, by the other critters for food, right? And we were getting them too. But then we picked up a stick with hands made for trees. We picked up a stick for protection, and that made us walk upright. Well, then from there, we start grouping up in our little groups. Well, those little groups have covered the whole planet now, with like the same scenario with the little kid in the little room, with the two kids in the room. Well, we have all these two little kids in all these different little rooms, and all the doors are closed. And if you make liquid language, all right, language liquid, and we use it based on physics, meaning the earth is round, we are now beginning a new recorded history. That begins transhumanism. Is that if we're going to transcend where we are right now, that we create, Ruffy, we create history from a new paradigm, from the round earth, as nature, with all the doors open, okay, above all the flat earth minds from the Middle East. The Middle East is a concept. We would never know about it without recorded history. The earth is round. It doesn't fit physics, buddy and ladies. That's why it's so important that you free your mind. And I'm an advocate for gTime. My name also known as gTime Johnny. Is that because Galileo attempted to define objects and concepts 380 some years ago. Okay? And that drawing a line between all the history before us is tainted nature. All right? And you got to revive your nature with the fact that language is liquid and you are from a round earth, not a flat earth. No flat earth map minds. No more flat earth church. Because look at what's happening. It's all blown up. We're destroying the earth. When you live against physics, you have bad habits. Like you could get, we're hurting the earth. And it's like, for us to make history is that we have to create a whole new level of recorded history. This is the Middle East-based history, and this is the Earth-based history. And it's from the simple classing of time. All right? And when I say the classing of time, seconds, days, years, months, you, me, come from the earth and sun. Right here, poof. The energy ringing through our ears is all the same. Okay? It doesn't care what biology it rides. Okay? It's physics-aware thinking energy. And when we think from the Middle East, a concept, our energy is inducted because of the language in our head. So that's when we felt those shifts as children, and the energy flow does not come through us properly. Okay? So you've got to just break the whole language habit. And that is really the transhumanism thing, is that language, because in computer programming, language is liquid, baby. We cheer people for updating language. But me, here's what I'm doing. We're up talking update language to objects and concepts, and I get treated like a heretic by some of the most anti-religious people that you've ever met on this planet. And so that's just because they're living as a concept. They have their mind inducted by the human-generated paradigm. The flat earth map. The Middle East does not exist. The earth is round. It's a concept, and it violates the physics of the mind, and our cells are all smart, and they want us thinking precise. And if if it's just, like, how can I close this? It's that new recorded history. All history to date is tainted nature history. You can't deny it. Nobody can deny it. We just have to get this message out. And 380 years? I mean, that's only maybe six lifetimes or so. That we've been living wrong. Since we knew scientifically, with technology, that the Earth orbits the sun. and the earth is round. We had a lot of conjecture before with Copernicus, and even old Bruno, he tried to do it, to class language by, human concepts and objects. But, that they got burned at the stake. Tyranny is more organized than freedom in the beginning. So, transhumanism, that's what, technology amplifying humanity is how I interpret the grunt, is my word map it, is that you have got to step up from the physics illiterates, all right, to now the new illiterate. That you are from a round earth and you are not from a flat earth map. No more emotional grunting for the Middle East. Because even if you're American, you think from the Middle East. All right? I don't care if you're China. You think from the Middle East. Because it's all based upon a flat earth map that does not exist. And recorded history began in the Middle East. That's why it's more dangerous, and we have work to do. So treat all of it as tainted nature, and let's get to work and fix this world. I love you, friends. Bye-bye now.